So, ladies, let's get real for a moment. And gentlemen, I won't forget about you. But how many of you have ever found yourself, standing in front of the fridge at 10 o'clock, at night, eating something that you just didn't really want, but it was just a quiet noise in your head? Or maybe you spent hours scrolling on the couch to avoid the stress of life, only to feel worse afterwards. But here's the truth: these aren't bad habits, they're coping mechanisms. They're your brain's way of trying to protect you from stress, overwhelm, and even pain. What if I told you that the key to breaking free of your weight struggles isn't just another diet or workout plan, but understanding why you turn to the behaviors in the first place? Today, we're going to uncover the hidden patterns that are keeping you stuck and how you can finally take back control of your health, your happiness, and your life. I'm going to go over just a few of them. But first, let's start talking about, hiding behind screens or Netflix and numb. You know what I mean? Using social media to avoid life's challenges. Why it happens is because it's easier to escape into a show than to face the stress of aging or your weight struggles. But it's a vicious cycle that causes more of the exact problem that you're trying to run from. You watch TV, then you snack mindlessly. You feel sluggish. You have lack of energy to exercise. So you decide, I'm tired. Guess what? I'm just gonna watch more TV. Not even realizing that the prolonged sitting slows your metabolism. Increases your cravings for unhealthy foods as well. One small shift that you can do to start breaking it is to set a timer for screen time and take movement breaks. You could also do things like replace one episode with a walk or a stretch session of equal time. Small changes, especially in movement, can lead to big changes in how you feel physically and emotionally, which in turn drive the action that you take. Because we are emotional creatures. The next one, as a matter of fact, is emotional eating, using food to soothe emotions like stress, sadness, boredom, or lack of fulfillment, rather than to actually satisfy your hunger. But here's the thing, food triggers dopamine, which is the feel good chemical, which offers temporary relief. So for like 5 or 10 minutes, the stress, the relationship issues, the hormone changes, the loneliness, none of that's on your mind. But it makes you feel worse later because what do? You eat to feel better, then you feel guilty, then you eat more to numb the guilt, and you repeat it. A small shift to break it is to pause and ask, am I hungry or am I just emotional? And 90% of the time, the answer is going to be emotional. And guess what? I want you to unpack the emotion. Our emotions are like little kids, and if we keep pushing them away, they're just going to keep coming back until they get our attention. Instead, replace the food with healthier coping tools like journaling, walking, or calling a friend to talk it out. You can also do small things like keeping a food mood journal to identify the pattern between your emotions and your eating habits. And think about it, it's like you're not weak for emotional eating, you're human. Awareness is the first step to changing this thing. The next one is going to be perfectionism and the all or nothing cycle. And this is something that a lot of you guys do. This is setting unrealistic goals like I'll never eat sugar again and then giving up when you slip. This happens because usually in childhood, you learn the better you are at something, the more love you receive. For example, you bring home an A on the report card and you're rewarded and doted upon. But the next time you bring home a grade that's less than that, the focus completely goes to why isn't this as good as it was before, making us feel like failures if we're less than flawless. The cycle of perfectionism in your weight loss journey looks like this. You start strong, maybe even hope this perfection for a week or a month, but then you make one mistake and you feel like a failure, and then you binge or you just quit altogether. And this cycle damages your self esteem and makes sustainable weight loss literally feel impossible. In order to break it, there's some shifts you can take. The first one is set small, realistic goals, even if it's so simple as I'll eat one more vegetable today. It's like celebrate the progress, not the perfection, and start reframing mistakes as learning opportunities, not failures. Remember, with weight loss, progress, not perfection, is the goal. One bad day does not erase all your hard work. Now let's talk about using sleep as an escape. This is a big coping mechanism I see all the time. Using excessive sleep to avoid dealing with life's problems, dealing with the stress or dealing with anxiety or simple life changes or challenges. This is a big coping mechanism because sleep feels like a safe, low effort way to pause life demands. But this cycle does nothing but truly exacerbate the problem. You sleep too much in order to hide from the issue. You wake up feeling groggy. Now you're like, you lack energy and the issues come racing back, so you repeat it. And over time, oversleeping literally disrupts your circadian rhythm, leading to weight gain, low motivation, and eventually depression. A shift to begin breaking this is to set a consistent sleep schedule, 7 to 9 hours max, and create a morning routine to give yourself something to look forward to in the morning. And commit to never closing your curtains. This makes it a lot harder to sleep in the daytime, when the sunlight is shining in. When you close the curtain, it allows all that darkness to grow, keeping you stuck. But the biggest shift in this is to actually address the root cause of the underlying issue instead of avoiding it. Because when it comes to things like depression, we always avoid that issue. Rest is essential, but balance is the key. You deserve to wake up feeling energized and ready to thrive, not, like stuck in an endless dark tunnel with no light in sight. And the last one we'll talk about is caregiving burnout, or putting everyone before yourself to avoid dealing with your own weight issues. This looks like, prioritizing the needs of everybody, your kids, your husband, your friends, or your work over your own health and well being. And this usually stems again from childhood traumas. Women usually learn that taking care of others is what's expected of them. You see it all the time. They see it in their mothers, their grandmothers, their role models. And society usually reinforces this in women, especially those who have kids or those over the age of 35. The message is that being selfless is a virtue, and taking time for yourself ends up feeling selfish. So you fall into the cycle of focusing on others, neglecting your own needs, feeling exhausted and overwhelmed, using food to cope, avoid addressing the weight issues, and then ignoring your health. What does it do? Lead to more weight gain, low energy, and then resentment, which leads you to feeling undeserving and have low self esteem. To break the cycle, set boundaries and learn to say no to unnecessary demands. And let me tell you, no is a complete sentence. I'll do a separate video on that later, but learn to say no and schedule me time just like you would a meeting or an appointment. You are important. If you need to start small, dedicate 10 to 15 minutes a day to something that you like, or something that's just for you, like taking a walk, a bath, or even reading. You can't pour from empty cups, so taking care of yourself isn't selfish. It's necessary for you to be able to show up as your best self for others. So let me ask you, is this resonating with you? Are you exhausted from feeling stuck, frustrated, and like you're spinning your wheels with your weight only to end up right back where you started? If you're ready to finally break free from the cycle and create a real lasting change, then let's talk. Set up a call with me and let's take the first step toward the life that you deserve. One where you feel confident, energized, and back in control of your life. I'm Ben Shaw, and I'm here to take you by the hand, guide you through the chaos, and empower you to radically transform your life, your body, your mind, and your soul in the next 90 days or less. This isn't just about weight loss. It's about reclaiming your confidence, your energy, and your joy. Let's do this together. Your breakthrough starts now.